Okay, so I think Andor is good if you take Star Wars out of it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Star Wars Closet, where we dive deep into a galaxy far, far away. And today we are talking about Andor Season 2, Episodes 4, 5, and 6. We're about to jump into all of it, but before we do, make sure you hit subscribe, follow us on X, all the things, hit the like button, hit the bell, all the great things. Be a part of what we are doing here at the Star Wars Closet. We are growing so fast. And because we are doing a 5,000 subscriber celebration giveaway. We passed 5,000 subs a couple days ago, and so I'm going to do a giveaway. I will be giving away this little set of Han Solo and Chewie. Came in a little Star Wars chess set. I'm going to be giving these two away and a few other things and a little personalized letter from me that will go to one of you. So make sure you hit subscribe, follow me on X to be a part of the giveaway. Now, with all that being said, let's dive into Andor Season 2, Episodes 4, 5, and 6. So these three episodes are set 3 BBY. They jump a year after the first 3 episodes that we just watched and reviewed. The main focus of these 3 episodes is Ghorman, which is a planet that is basically under Imperial rule, which is all of them, but this one seems to be under more scrutiny than the rest. Rebellion is truly brewing here on Ghorman, and it's getting a little bit interesting, but let me say this before we jump into these 3 episodes. This whole thing would be much better if Star Wars really wasn't a part of it. I will talk all about that at the end. I will rate these episodes and all that great stuff. A lot of spoilers ahead, I'm sure, so be careful. Make sure you watch the 3 episodes before you watch this episode of Star Wars Closet. I like it overall. I think it's a great show. Again, I don't want to get ahead of myself because I'm going to talk all about this at the end. I just want you guys to know where I'm coming from. So real quick, let's break these down, starting with Episode 4. Ever been to Ghorman? Cassian Andor and Bix are hiding in a Luthian safe house on Coruscant, but Bix is struggling with PTSD from her Season 1 torture. Cassian has hardened into a pragmatic rebel, clashing with Bix's need for normalcy. Meanwhile on Ghorman, Cyril, now at the Bureau of Standards, plays double agent for the ISB's Dedra Meero, infiltrating the Ghorman Front, a local rebel cell. Mon Mothma fights in the Senate to curb Palpatine's power, but faces resistance. Wilman, a Ferric survivor, delivers explosive tech to Saw Gerrera's partisans on D'Qar. The episode sets the stage for Ghorman's unrest with a French resistance vibe. And when I say French resistance vibe, I mean heavy French France. It's like you're in France. Which, that's fine. That's okay. I feel like a lot of the times when I watch Andor, I'm in England.
Sorry, mate. I forgot me snotted cream.
You know where I don't feel like I'm at? The world of Star Wars. It was a fine episode. Again, the exposition. It's just a lot of exposition, a lot of setting up and undercover this and getting set up for this. It's a fine episode. It's a fine show, and the acting is so good. It's just, I'm not feeling Star Wars. I'm not. I said that in the first 3 episode review that I did. I'm not getting the Star Warsy vibe that I'm looking for. Episode 5, I have friends everywhere. The action ramps up. Cassian heads to Ghorman to scope out the rebellion, unaware Cyril's feeding intel to Dedra. Luthen and Kleya clash over a secret listening device into Davo's gallery, hinting at Kleya's cutthroat role in a rebellion. On Ghorman, the front debates strategy. Moderates like Caro versus firebrands like Lazine. Cyril's loyalty to the Empire deepens, despite Dedra using him. You also have Wilman training Saw Gerrera's people with explosives, but Saw plans to kill him once the tech is mastered. The episode's radio chatter, opening, and political intrigue keep the tension high. And it was high. It felt fine. Again, the acting is so good. Saw Gerrera, let me just say this. And I need to give a shout out to Dark Lord Dash on this one because he brought up the idea on X and I think it's a great idea. Saw Gerrera should have his own show. Absolutely. He is so good. Forrest Whitaker is an incredible actor and he brings this character to life in a way I haven't seen in a long time with a lot of Star Wars characters recently. I'm really enjoying his character. I'm enjoying the acting and the direction of the show. Again, there's a part of me that wishes I had just found this show and that it had nothing to do with Star Wars. Somehow, some way, Star Wars makes this show worse. What a festive evening. Cassian returns to Coruscant, reuniting with Bix, whose trauma worsens. Luthen sends Vel Sartha and Cinta Kaz to Ghorman to finish Cassian's failed mission. The Ghorman front attempts a heist to expose an Imperial armory, but infighting leads to disaster. A stray blaster kills Cinta, devastating Vel. Bix gets revenge, killing Dr. Gorst, her torturer, in a cathartic moment. Luthen and the Empire both want Ghorman to erupt, but for opposite reasons. Luthen to spark rebellion, Deidre to justify crackdowns. The episode ends with the rebellion's cost laid bare. So look, there's a lot to unpack in that one as well. Again, the acting's so good, and you finally get some action in this one. And again, I'm not some action junkie. I'm watching Star Wars, so I expect some action. You do finally get it, and it's not like a really good payoff. You have a death that is supposed to mean a lot, and I see how it does in the show. It just doesn't mean a lot to me. Krennic showing up at the party when they're walking around and seeing all those antiques, that was really, really cool. So again, the climax, yeah, it was the climax of those three. I would definitely say episode 6 was the better of the three. What are we watching? Hold on real quick, because I have to tell you about today's awesome sponsor, Soundstripe. If you are looking to level up your content with any royalty-free music just like I have and a lot of other creators, you can have better sound, design, and music. Make sure you use the link in the description and use code The Star Wars Closet for 10% off your first purchase. Thank you so much, Soundstripe, for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it. So there's a lot to go off of these 3 episodes as far as exposition goes, but there's not a whole lot I really care to talk about. You just need to watch it. There's a lot of talking. Cassian does a good job in the 5th episode. He goes undercover, and it looks really cool. He comes off really awesome. You can tell he knows what he's doing at this point. He's probably the best of the rebels right now. In a lot of ways, at least right now, it seems that way to me. Because you have a lot of dogmatic thinking on both sides, and the juxtaposition between how we see Luthen making his plans for the rebellion versus how you see Krennic making his plans for the Empire. They're very parallel in a lot of ways, but with different meanings in mind. And so that part's really cool. Again, the story is written so well, and the acting for the 15th time is so good. Here's my overall summary. The show would be better if it wasn't Star Wars. That's what I think. I think that's what it is. I kept sitting there watching, when they show up on Coruscant and you have, diet version of Bail Organa show up for half a second. I definitely kept thinking, well, what would happen if, I don't know, Obi-Wan Kenobi showed up? And yes, at this point, he'd be, much older. He'd be Ben Kenobi, he'd be old, but, he wouldn't fit. Isn't that weird? Ben Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi would not fit in a Star Wars show. And I'm not talking about for context. I'm just saying the idea of a Jedi just doesn't really comprehend in this world of Andor. And that's because it's not a Star Wars show. It's a show set in the world of Star Wars somehow, but it's not a Star Wars show. If you even heard them start talking about the Force, you'd be like, well, that doesn't really fit. That doesn't fit at all. So I don't know. I don't know if it adds to Star Wars, and I don't know if it takes away from Star Wars. I have no idea. I just know that it's not Star Wars. But to be very clear, I like the show. I just kind of wish it wasn't Star Wars. So here's kind of my ratings. Here's what I'll say. I'll say number 1 was episode 6. I'm going to give that one a 7.8. I thought it was really good as far as exposition, and the acting was very well done, and I like the direction. It was just kind of lacking in action, even though it was the only one that had any action. Again, that's why it gets a 7.8. Enjoyed it, but could have had a little more to it, and that's a Star Wars rating. Episode 5, I'm going to give a 7.1, and what saves it the most is Saw Gerrera. Saw Gerrera's whole monologue at the end by itself boosted this whole episode by a couple of points. I really enjoy Saw Gerrera. I love Forrest Whitaker. Very well done. Very well done. And then I'll give episode 4 probably a 6.2. It was just boring. I thought it was boring. Those are my overall thoughts on this drop of episodes from Andor Season 2. It's kind of crazy that that was a whole year later. It's a little different, but I'm liking the fact that every drop of these 3 episodes is another year that goes by. And I keep forgetting that. So when at the end of episode 6, I just realized that I'm not going to see these guys for another year. We'll see what it looks like. I'm enjoying it, kind of. For a Star Star Wars show. Wish it had a little more, I don't know, Star Wars. But as a show by itself, I like it. I'm still intrigued. I can't wait to watch next week's episodes, and that's good. That's a good thing. That's what you want. But it doesn't feel like Star Wars. I've said that over and over. I just want to make it clear that's how I feel. If you hate me because of it, well, that's because it's 2025, and that means you're required to hate me for having an opinion that you don't have. So there you have it. That is my position on Andor Season 2, Episodes 4, 5, and 6. Do you feel any differently? Am I crazy? Am I the smartest man alive? You should comment below and let me know what you think. And before you go, make sure you hit subscribe, hit the like button, follow me on X, and keep up with what we are doing here at the Star Wars Closet. We are growing so fast. Be a part of it. Why not? Come on board. You know, we're gonna be at 10,000 here very soon, but we are on the road to 1 million. And before we go, let me leave you with a question. Do you think Andor is a Star Warsy show? Or am I just being mean? Am I being mean about Andor? I don't feel like I am. I feel like I'm being very nice. I don't know. We'll see you in the next one.